just making sure that they go through their journey as smoothly as possible. Now, I joined such group as a new member. I reached out to my leader. He was supposed to reach out to me. First problem. And I'm like, hey man, I'm in your group. And it's like, okay. Think, no? So how do you want to do this? I don't know. I'm like, okay, that's not the kind of leadership I was expecting. And so it goes. We have weekly assignments. Every week we need to turn in some assignments, and our accountability group leader needs to check them. He never did. He never offered any guidance. And that pissed me off. That I was so angry because I was expecting something like support, help, coaching, anything. Alas, it didn't happen. 8 weeks passed and I had two options. I could either just quit the course because I didn't enjoy it, partly because of the fact that my accountability group leader was a douche, or I could join the higher course and then become an accountability group leader myself. And let me tell you, that thought of being an accountability group leader has excited me a lot because I wanted new members to be able to learn. It was a great course, and with great supportive leadership, I know that people can learn a lot. So I did join the next level, and I was from season 8, and right off the bat, season 9 students came in. I was assigned 6 people, 6 strangers that I had no clue about. And I was told, hey, now you lead them. Now you help them out. And I'm like, how? How do I do this? I had no idea, but I had to adapt. I had to learn, and I needed to figure out everything on my own, more or less on the go. First season, it was kind of awkward. I didn't really know what to talk about with those guys, like how to help them out. Some of them were interested, some of them were not. We stayed friends. I helped as much as I could. Season 10 came in. I got another group. It was better. Now I was more confident. I was getting better at it. And as I was getting better at it, I started to deal with more complicated issues as a leader. You see, in a group of 8 people, you have 8 individuals who have 8 different lives, have lived through 8 different lifetimes, struggles, wins, families. And now my role as a leader is to help them grow, all of them. What does that mean? It means that I have to approach each and every one of them individually and find how can I help them individually. So even though it was a group setting, I was keeping a very close one-on-one relationship with each member of the group, and that paid very well. I realized that, okay, we have a group setting for, let's say, small coaching calls. And then if you have a problem, you reach out to me one-on-one and we deal with it together. Some people were dealing with issues with the course. Some people were dealing with issues with the family. Others were dealing with themselves. And I needed to adapt my leadership to be able to help each and every one of them. I realized one very important thing, that as a leader, my only role is to help others succeed. That's my only position. That's the only thing I want. If I'm leading someone, if I'm in a leadership position, I want my subjects to succeed as much as they can. Let's take a teacher, for example, since we talked about teachers today. A teacher is a leadership role. And I believe a good teacher wants his students to succeed, and he will sacrifice his own time, his own health, his own well-being and sanity to pull those students through and make sure that they can live a higher quality life. And then in the end, season 11 kicked in. I was confident. I was feeling very well about myself, very good. And suddenly this group was diverse. I felt more on the horse. They respected me more. We had better relationship because I felt more confident in my ability as a leader, in my ability to help them. We had many calls, and I realized that I didn't have to deal with as many problems in this season with those guys as I had with previous guys. It was as if suddenly I was dealing in a group setting in a way that solved their own personal problems. So I was getting better in a group setting as well. And this was what got me into leadership. This was what got me into wanting to be a leader in a Toastmasters club. This is where I started. I started with small groups of 6 to 8 people that were complete strangers in the beginning. And I had 2 months to help them out, to figure out their stuff, to pull through, and to live a happier life. And I believe that I succeeded in some way or another because they are doing great. And today, I'm helping people in my club, like you see everybody else here. And that would be all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter, for your speech. I think it was inspirational, at least for me. And we'll hear the feedback and then we can give you feedback. So that is amazing. I will give you last seconds to complete your notes to finalize that. I hope I will not feel any remorse today. And we are ready for our second speaker, who is Teresa today. Teresa prepared wonderful speech. Have you ever heard about gifted people and their role, and not only role, but their feeling in this society, what is expected from them, what is all about? Have you ever started this conversation or this topic with other people? She will try to open your eyes a little bit about that. And I am excited. I know you are too. So this is our second speaker, Teresa.
Thank you very much. I'll just enjoy a second of preparing. Can you see me well? Give me a sign. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear Teresa, thank you very much for your introduction. Dear friends, today I will not be as funny, as playful, as reckless as I used to be on Toastmasters speeches, because the topic of my speech today is very personal for me. Honestly, I never really wanted to talk about this because it's pretty hard for me still. But recently I realized that it is really important for people to know all about this, and I feel some kind of responsibility to give you this information. Ladies and gentlemen, long story short, I'm gifted. And today I'm gonna explain you why I'm gifted, what does it mean, and why it's not that big gift as it might seem. First of all, we need to explain what does it mean, as I already said. To be qualified as a gifted person, someone has to have his IQ, so his intelligence quotient, bigger than the average, so bigger than more than 130 IQ points. We can calculate our IQ by a simple equation. We have our mental age divided by our real age multiplied by 100. But please never believe those online IQ free quizzes that will tell you how intelligent you are. Those are fake. Please just give that to experts, to psychologists, because it doesn't work as simple as that. You may ask, okay, but why are you so smart? Well, I'm not smart enough to give you such an answer because we don't really know. Of course, genetics has a big impact on this, but it's not that unusual that two completely average people even below the average, have a gifted child. And that's also one of many, many reasons why this is so important to know about, because if those children aren't raised properly, it might end really badly for all of us. But what I can give you an answer for is that our brain works and looks a little bit differently. Maybe you have seen already a picture like this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Brain, our boss of our body, of our feelings. And these beautiful, colorful spots are called a gray matter. In reality, it's gray, but I wanted to show you some colors, so that's why. And this gray matter is one of the biggest part of our brain. And in fact, that means thanks to this gray matter, we are human, because we think about it mainly, we memorize stuff with it, we even have feelings with gray matter. So it's called neocortex. It's evolutionally the youngest part of our brain, and that's why it seems that we are more intelligent than other species that we know. Well, this part is important for everybody, but we did some studies about gifted people, and it seems that they have a bigger volume of this gray matter than the average people. And in reality, while doing some real activities, it might look like this. Here on the top, we see again a brain. And these red spots are active centers, so centers of our brain, of our gray matter that are active right now. And we see some active centers while this person, average person, is doing some maths. And here below, we see the same thing, but it's the gifted person who is doing this math. And thanks to this great big volume of this gray matter, we see that the brain is much more active. So what is the gray matter? Gray matter are nothing else, just cells of our brain stuck together, and they communicate. And when there is a great big volume of all of this, it can communicate really quickly, and that's why we have this quick and immediate answers to our questions. Okay, but a little bit of more of theory right now. I'll explain you how a person can be identified as gifted, because no, if you are good at math, it doesn't mean automatically that you are gifted. That's what most of the people think, but it's not true. Mr. Sidney Marlando in 1972 in USA has defined great thing, because according to him, a gifted person has to be successful or has to have a great potential of abilities, at least one of these 5 main abilities. First one is intellectual ability. The second one is academic one. Then there's creativity, leadership, and artistic skills. Many gifted people have maybe 5 of them. Many gifted people might have only 1 or 2. It's completely normal. The key is to have at least 1. But Mr. Marlando was focusing only on the professional stuff, only on abilities that gifted person can use in his work life, or her. But thanks to many experts, psychologists, studies, we have now a list of other qualities that are characteristic for these people. But if I had only one word to describe them, I'd use imbalance. Because if a person is gifted, that means that only a certain spot, a certain center or centers of their brain are developed much better and much sooner than the average one. But this creates these huge gaps between the abilities. For example, you can be great, really just great, perfect in languages, but you can have like 0 points in math. It's completely normal and usual thing to see in school where are gifted people, for example. And this creates also huge gaps in social skills that I'm going to talk about right now, because okay, you can have like 160 points of IQ, but you can really suck in social skills. And that is thing that really happens really usually. And that's why it's the key for average people to understand this imbalance, because that's why we feel a little bit down in the society. And that's why it is really difficult to be friend with somebody or something like that. But to understand this imbalance, we need to know also the other characteristics of gifted people. Their thoughts are more complex, and that's once again thanks to this big amount of gray matter, because as I said, the cells are really connected together, and there's a big amount of them. So we can see some points that the other ones just might not see. Also, they see themselves as typical while others tell them they're smarter. That's very typical. And yeah, you know, I don't see myself as Albert Einstein or something. I just think I'm a regular girl, even blunt. So, you know, I'm just like that, learning and stuff and so on. Of course, they have an intense drive to learn and strive for bigger and better things. That is really important, that we remember things really quickly and learn really quickly. For example, I don't use shopping lists. I don't use it because I don't need to. I just remember what I have to buy in the shop. It saves time and paper too, so I'm glad for that. They have a great need for quiet time and solitude, and this is something they don't even understand sometimes, because it is not true to think that if someone is super intelligent, he's always introverted and just closed in his room and doing some great things on computer. No, we are sociable, we love to party and all normal things, but sometimes it's really like I need to be on my own. I don't need anybody but me. And when I was younger, I had really struggled to understand this. Okay, it's just like, why I need to be alone right now when there is this great party, when I'm sociable, what does it mean, and so on. And so this is really important to know too. They have a strong sense of justice and rebel against unfairness, and there's when where the problem starts. Because, for example, okay, gifted people don't believe in authorities. They believe in leaders, in natural leaders, and where they have, for example, a boss in the job who isn't the leader for them, well, there is nothing more to do about it, because they won't respect him or her no matter what, and they will fight for a better leader until they can do that. They really can. Also, they have a true sense of humor, but like anything else, it's edgy. It's really edgy, and it can be really hurtful for somebody's. I lost some friends because of my humor, because they were thinking I was insulting them, but I was just joking, and I couldn't explain them, and I didn't understand why they were angry with me. So now I'm trying to be a bit calmer, but it's hard for me. Yeah, my humor is really edgy and can be hurtful even for someone. And they're less likely to take risks because we love to plan. We have to do something that is, on my paper, in my chart. And when I don't have it, I panic. Simply as that. Okay, so that are main characteristics for these people. But why am I telling you all this? Well, I just want you to know, why is it hard for us in our society sometimes? Because all of these qualities I have told you about maybe you are thinking, wow, that's just great. I want to be gifted too, and so on. But there are so many weaknesses that come along with that. I have no time to talk about everything. So I chose two main because of which we struggle. We struggle in our everyday life, with our friends, with our family, in our job, and so on. First one is procrastination. And now you might think, oh my God, I'm procrastinating all the time. I bet my IQ is over 160. Oh my God, no, we all procrastinate because of social media, because of mobile phones, and so on. But as I told you, we don't respect authorities. And there's just one thing what we hate more than authorities, and that is the job that we have to do and where we don't see the point to do. So if there is something that we have to do and we don't see why, we won't do. We won't do it, even though we get fired. No, just don't. No, no. And for example, when I was in my primary school, I had my classmate who was also gifted, and he really hated art. He hated to draw, and we had our art class every Tuesday, around 12 o'clock. And once he got angry because he didn't want to draw, so he found a competition about maths that was just in that time 4 times in the year. And those 4 times were so important for him. So he studied all the time maths so he could participate and win that competition. So next Tuesday, he won't be on art because of that maths competition. Yeah, I know. That is how it feels like and how it works like with us. So why am I telling you this? If you are working with a person like this, it is really important to be a natural leader for him or her by telling them kindly but strongly why is it important to do this work. How will that help themselves, our company, or yourselves as their partners, as their friends? And once they see a goal or a point of their work, they can do it in 1 or 2 days. So that is really important to communicate with them, even though it's really hard sometimes when they are introverted, especially. And the second thing I want to talk about is a little bit sad, but it's loneliness, because we can feel lonely because it's hard for us to just go with the flow, go with the society. And for example, me, when I'm in smaller groups, when I work in smaller groups, it's really hard for me to find friends in there, because when there is few people, there is smaller possibility that somewhere there will be someone intelligent that will understand me, because when you are, for example, let's say average one, like a deep average, and I tell him, okay, I don't see it this way, this is my way of thinking, they will just think that I'm crazy, that I want to fight with them no matter what, and so on. So that's the point when we just get out and stay on our own, and we feel really lonely. So that's pretty much why am I telling you all of this, because many people who are gifted aren't open enough to talk about these, and they're just closing themselves, ending up with depression. There are many people who are gifted that have such problems, and I really don't want to, because society needs us, but we need society too. So yeah, that's pretty much all about this. And now we have a little 3 minutes, so if you have some questions, please feel free to. I will be more than happy to answer all of your questions in this Q&A session. Do you have any question? We have 3 minutes. Use them wisely.
I have a question. Where did you get the studies that you were using in your speech?
On the internet, there is many internet like sites or organization. They focus on those people, especially in English. In Slovak, there is hard to find sources, because in Slovakia I have impression that we talk only about gifted children and how to raise them, but many gifted people don't really know that they are gifted until they come to university or to work, and now they're observing these problems. So yeah, that's what I miss in Slovakia, because it's great, it's really important to talk also about gifted children, but gifted adults as well. So to answer your question, I used Google sources such as some coaching and mentoring for gifted adults.
And
also,
when did you first time realize that you are gifted?
So I'm not only gifted in my IQ, but also I'm really gifted with my family, because when I was a little girl, they were really watching me, raising me, and my mom was spending all her time with me. She even quit her job and so on. So when I was like 4 years old, I just started to read and write just like that. Nobody taught me. And there was a point that she realized that I might be different. So she went to some psychologist with me, and I did some tests. So that's why I was 4 or 5 years old, something like that. Do you have some other questions? I'll just wanted to give you some word, because you might be a little bit confused or something. Tessa, yeah.
I would like to ask, how do you deal with that? Like, what are your most favorite strategies that really work well for you?
Well, sometimes when I have these social problems, that, for example, someone gets hurt because of my joke, that was the thing when I was younger, like all the time, I just spoke to my mom or to our school psychologist, who explained me that was way out of line. And there I really didn't understood that, but as I get older, I try to, I'm better now at understanding all of that. And Lenka, last one, because I'm already in red.
Yes, I'm very curious about the jokes.
Over.
But maybe you can explain that during the meeting, or show us some kind of jokes you are doing. I would like to know that.
Yes, of course. Our after party after the meeting will be the perfect place to do that. So guys, thank you for your attention. Thank you for your questions. It was really nice today. So back to you, Tessa.
And it was really nice to listen to you. I saw everyone, and I went through all the, small screens I have, and everyone was like that, or writing down the notes. So I really liked that. I think this is the topic that we don't get often, and we don't hear about that often. And it's really good to, just open our eyes differently. And now we have the opportunity, or in just, our first evaluator. And that is Jardo. Welcome him on the stage.
Thank you, Tessa. I'm here to evaluate Peter's speech. So let's get right into it. Peter, the first thing I noticed on your speech was the calmness in your voice. I could tell that you're an experienced Toastmaster and that you no longer feel nervous. At least I didn't feel from you that you were nervous at all. It wasn't in your voice and it wasn't in your expression and so on. So this is like a really good part, which I liked about your speech. You also chose to do your speech in a low energy, like very calm, very laid back, which is not necessarily a bad thing, in my opinion, but I think it was a bit on the edge because I almost had a feeling that you don't care about the speech. For instance, you only want to finish your project and just put a check mark next to it. So you just say a couple of words, but I had a feeling that you didn't really care about what you're talking about or what you can give to the audience. So maybe if you showed a little bit more enthusiasm for the topic, that would keep me more engaged. Because if you don't care about the things you're talking about, why should we care as an audience and why should we listen? I also really liked that you were present in your body because your expressions and you had even though you had like a low energy, you still had a range of expressions because when you were talking about something positive, we can see a small smile on your face and like more gestures and so. So the range was actually pretty good. My recommendation is at the end of your speech, try to give us some summary of what we can take away from the speech. For instance, you were talking about your journey with your leadership skills. So you can talk about some lessons that you learned and some lessons that we can take away from the speech. Also, another recommendation is one of my pet peeves, which is lighting, because you had like the sun coming from one of your side and you have one side of your face light and one side of your face black. So maybe next time try to face the sun or maybe take down the blinds and use artificial light in your room. Also, one small recommendation is pronunciation, because you are pronouncing the G at the end of words. For instance, beginning. The G is supposed to be silent. You're not supposed to pronounce it. So beginning, not beginning. So to summarize, you had a really calm energy. We can see that you're an experienced speaker. You chose to do the speech in a low energy, which wasn't necessarily bad, but perhaps show a little bit more enthusiasm with your speech. Also, at the end of your speech, try to give us some lessons that we can take away as an audience from your speech. That's all from me. Back to you, Tessa.
Thank you so much, Yaldo, for your evaluation. And now I'm opening the window for panel evaluation. So please, just to set some rules, raise your hand if you want to speak, and I will give you Anka chance. Chance is
Thank
yours.
you, Tessa. I am so happy to listen to speech about leadership. I agree with my previous evaluator of Peter. I would love to see more passion in the speech. However, information is still important, context and content. And I like the structure of his speech. What I was missing is some story, what he was actually helping the group member with, yeah, some kind of example that he can use that would really give a juice to the speech, because juicy speeches are the best one, I think, in my opinion. And I really enjoy how he was, the conclusion, if you don't have a good leader, just become one. It was really funny and educative, and I am following that example. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you too, Anka, for your evaluation. And is there anyone else who would like to add? I have to say that I saw Lenka writing down a few notes. I think she can add something. Lenka?
Well, to Peter's speech, I would love to appreciate the personal story, because it's the best way to explain anything based on personal story. And also the concrete examples of how the leader was not a good leader and what made you to change it. So the consequences you described. And what I would appreciate to have more, it's like this liveliness as well in the speech, and the stronger ending.
Thank you so much, Lenka. We still have time, so in case there are other people who would like to add, I will give you a few more seconds 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're over now with our panel evaluation. And I will give a chance to our second evaluator, who is one and only Jarko Spodniak.
Thank you for my presentation about the Tereska's speech. Tereska's speech was out of manuals. It means that it was very different, but on the other side, I must said that was very interesting. I appreciate your backgrounds, your graphs, your gestures, your speaking about IQ test that on the online is fake, and I think yes, these tests are very fake. I think too. And then you said about average math and gifted. You can compare this average about math and about how can we are very smart, and it was very good for me, and this comparison was very interested about me, and these 5 words which you said, that intellectual, creativity, artist, academic, and leadership. It was very thankful about how can we said that these people are very smart, and these characters and are very good about describes these people who are gifted. And then you said about the social skills and EQ. Yes, social skills are something another then can be EQ, and you have very good describe how can we choose what is EQ and what is social skills. It was very kindful and very good describe you what is better and what is unconscious or something else. And my recommendation is that you said more about the good things which can we said about gifted people, and only in the end of your speech you said only about loneliness. And I think you can said so many time about one thing and another thing. Yes, you can describe very good why are people who are smart good, and you said no so much time about what is negative about these gifted people. And but I think that your speech was very interesting and very funny, and I think that you can these things.
Over.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Timer, as well as our evaluator, Jarko. You're still free to, finish the sentence. It's okay, but thank you so much. And now I'm opening the panel discussion or evaluation, and you all will have a chance. So please, the same rules, raise your hand if you want to say something. Anka, word is yours.
Thank you for this opportunity. I love panel evaluation, and I really love Terka's speech. Even if she did not do curly hair today, she made a wonderful presentation with all the visuals and colorful brain. It was fantastic. I was thinking what kind of drugs are in this brain, because it was really like ecstasy brain, and it was fantastic. Then she also have these studies where I would appreciate the sources, so we will give a more scientific. And everybody, I was also watching the same like this, everybody was really interested in the content. I am dealing, because I'm teaching over 15 years also at the university, part-time, and a different school. And we had two groups of people. We did this test. One was the gifted group, and the other one was not so gifted, from the poor families and so on. And we told this to the teachers, and of course, gifted group performed better. And then we told them at the end that it was the placebo effect because we mixed all the children. So this was an interesting conclusion. I am not saying everybody can be a genius, but as you could hear in Terka's Q&A session, it's also about the parents, how much time we spend with the children and how we behave towards them. And when she was listing all of these characteristics of the children who don't like authority, who are rebellious, I was thinking about the group of these drug addict children that I have in London in training center. There were no geniuses, but they were behaving exactly like that. So there is genius in all of us. And I was reading also a study, you can listen to the podcast, how to prevent Alzheimer's disease and keep your brain active. So it really made me think about a lot of things and how should we approach students, gifted children, and of course, yeah.
Thank you so much, Anka. I really appreciate that you love to talk, but we'll now give a chance to another speakers, and you can add anything you want into the chat or in the after party. So is there anyone else? Do not hesitate. I see that Hanka raised her hand, so Hanka, please unmute yourself,
quickly,
and you can.
I really
Of course.
love the speech and the topic and the energy of the speech. But what I wanted to recommend is maybe to use instead of but. It was quite repetitive during the speech. Use maybe however or although or any other possibility of the word but. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanka. I see you're getting there. You're giving nice evaluation. And I saw two other people, so please, with one sentence. Emo?
The best thing in the Terka speech was that this speech was very impressive for me. I paid attention on on each word in this speech.
Over.
Thank you, Emo. And last word to the person that was, I think, Lenka. Am I right? Yeah, one sentence, please.
Excellent informative speech. One recommendation for Q&A session, have 2 or 3 questions prepared in advance in the case no one is asking at the beginning. That's all.
Thank you so much all. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, evaluators. And of course, you can write down into the chat if you want to add anything you will have after party. You can add it there, and we'll continue now. And our next and one and only and last but not the least, and I think I should already mention the name, is Counter Anka.
Thank you for this wonderful role. I have some notes, and yeah, and it's a filler word. What is the account role? It's count all of these words that speech can be better or can live without. That's the definition I heard. And first one, I will start with our moderator Tessa, because she has the most opportunity to commit crime. And she was coping really well with this task. And I will have to check the words, yeah, because I make a lot of notes, and now I have to just find them, and I have to do it very quickly. Yeah, we have. We have two Tereskas, and I have to distinguish them somehow because one is Tessa. Yeah, Tessa had the words and I heard 4 times, but then you can listen to the recording and you will hear more probably. Then we had the word but, which is very popular today, and it's just but with the T. Then we had, yeah, and but this was for Tessa, the favorite one. Then we had Lenka as well, 2 times. Yardo, but, and then next one, yeah, we'll check. We had Peter, who said in his speech, kind of, so, anything, because, and great, several times. I usually count when it's 2 times or more, and if I think that speech can live without it. Then we had, yeah, that paid very well, that paid off very well. Somebody said 2 times. And what do we have? We have the kind of, well, but, 2 times. This, that, and this. It was, I think, in Teresa's speech. And there is one thing, explain you. We usually say explain to you. And then I heard but 10 times. And sometimes it's actually part of the speech, so we have to judge by the contest. And whoever speaks the most commits the most crime today. I don't know who is the winner. You are all perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too. If there is no winner, then we all are winners, as it works here in Toastmasters. And now we'll have a chance for our one and only grammarian, who is Hannah today. Welcome her on the stage.
Thank you. I couldn't really see many mistakes, I have to say, but what I could hear was Teres in speech said people thinks. Then Jarko said must said. Very good instead of very well described, and characters instead of characteristics. But I'm not sure if it's a grammatical thing, but still. And also I have noted the I going to go. They were missing the I am going to go, but that's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your evaluation. And now we will continue with our agenda. And the next one in our agenda is Quizmaster. So I hope you all paid attention, but I think you were, as I saw your faces, and we're so excited. So please welcome Lenka on the stage.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Dear friends, with a great remorse, I have to say that I totally failed in my role tonight. I wrote some notes, but somehow I have so many mistakes in my notes, and I would need you to help me to find these mistakes and correct the sentences, because I know that you were paying the attention during the meeting, so you know all the answers. Who has the right answer for me? Just raise the hand and tell me what is wrong with this sentence. Let's start. The very first one. It is April and snowing is expected by Tessa. Jardo.
She didn't expect to see snow in April.
Yes, that's excellent. She didn't. Oh, that's the correct one. Thank you. The next one, the second. For Tessa, Toastmasters is all about constant change. Is it true or is it false? Teresa.
I'm not sure now. I don't know where is the end. Well, she said that there's not constant change. She was focusing on personal or on public speaking, and now it has changed to leadership. So it was only one change.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Let's hurry up since we don't have so much time. What made Jardo happy today was a cup of coffee. Jardo?
No, it was meditation.
Yes, that was the meditation. Okay, let's go further to the first speaker. Peter said in his speech that the first problem arose when Peter approached his leader.
Yeah, that's correct. I think that's what he said.
Great. Okay, so this one I got correct. Thank you very much for confirmation. The second or the next sentence. The accountability group leader was checking so much that Peter was angry with it.
He was not checking at all.
He was not checking at all. Yes, that's the correct one. Okay, let's go next one. Teresa in her speech said that she enjoys being a gifted person. Teresa?
Yeah, I said that it is not that big gift as it might seem.
Yeah, and the very last one. If we want to know our IQ, we shall take an online test. Tessa?
No, definitely not. It's fake.
Yeah, that's fake. Thank you very much for helping me out to sort these questions and answers, and I'm giving the word back to you, Tessa.
Thank you so much, Lenka. Thank you so much. Your problem is that you always need more time, but we're getting there. Okay, and now we're approaching almost the end of the meeting because this is time for our timer, who is Martin. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Do you hear me correctly? Yeah, great. Okay, I'm ready to give you all the report about your time. Teresa, as a Toastmaster, your time slot was 10 to 15 minutes. You have just 9 minutes. You spent just 9 minutes. Hannah, as a grammarian, and her word of the day, remorse, if I remember, it was maximum 1 minute. Your time was the half minute. Okay, the first speaker, Petr Fichna, your time slot was between 5 to 7 minutes, and you spent 7 minutes 29 seconds. Tereska Niderlandová as a second speaker, your time slot was between 15 to 20 minutes, and you spoke 20 minutes 55 seconds. Okay, the first evaluator, Jardo, your time slot was between 2 to 3 minutes, and you had 3 minutes 1 second. Okay, the panel evaluation after the first evaluator, it was 2 to 3 minutes. The time was 2 minutes 21 seconds. Second evaluator, his time slot was 2 to 3 minutes. The time was 3 minutes 37 seconds. Panel evaluation after the second evaluator was 2 to 3 minutes, and we spent 3 minutes 57 seconds. Carter, Anna Jurisová, your time was between 2 to 3 minutes. You spent 2 minutes 55 seconds. Hanna Kalina, as a grammarian, your time was between 1 to 2 minutes, and you spent just 45 seconds. Quizmaster Lenka Tarapková, your time slot was 1 to 3 minutes, and you spent 3 minutes 29 seconds. And I forgot to start my counting about my role. I feel so sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. I think you were within your allocated time slot, or if you were not, it doesn't matter. Now, last but not least, general evaluator who will evaluate everyone that was not previously evaluated. I love the sentence. And that is Peter Fichtner.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna keep it in lower energy because just today I'm not feeling it, so excuse me. Tessa, as our Toastmaster today, she did a great job with explaining everything since we have some new people here. I understood why we are here, what we are doing, how we get started, and all of this. Thank you for explaining. Good job introducing the speakers. It wasn't dry like some people like to do. You put some moisture into it. Yeah, English is fun. You had good transitions between the speeches and evaluations. You were talking with speakers, you were talking with everybody around here, people were engaged. That's great. And also, I would like to commend you on your leadership skills during panel evaluations and specifically stopping Anka from talking. Sometimes that can be very difficult. Anka can be intimidating. So good job on that. Overall, you did a great job as a Toastmaster. And when I look back to your first meetings that you had with us, you made a tremendous improvement. And I'm very proud. Yardo, good feedback, very on point, like really on point. Yes, I agreed with many things. You were specific. Good summary in the end. And yeah, I already wrote it. Okay, that's it. Nothing really to recommend. You gave me a good feedback. Jarko Spodniak, clear, very easily understood. Positive energy, that's good. Specific as well. Nice summary in the end. 2 recommendations, be careful with time and slow down a little bit. I can see that you are struggling with English a little bit, and it helps to just slow down and give it a thought before you speak. Anna, very specific. It's Anka. I'm sorry, I couldn't find really anything to recommend. If anybody did, please write her. Hannah, as your first time as a grammarian, I think you did a good job. There was definitely much more what you could have caught, but first time, and I'm commending you for taking the role even though you had no clue what's going to happen. So you have bonus points for bravery. Recommendation, nah, for the first time, nothing really. Just always make sure to keep it specific. Don't be afraid to call out names, telling people what mistakes they've done. It's not rude in this environment. We want to grow. So Lenka as a quizmaster. Lenka has a very high energy today. Thank you, Lenka, very much. And I like the creative setting of the questions. First, I'm like, wait, is she serious? Like she didn't pay attention or what? Oh, wait, that's her system. Okay, okay. So it took me a little bit to understand what you are going with, but once I understood, it was okay, and I enjoyed it very much. Martin, in the end, great job as a timekeeper with showing the colors. It was on point, it was on time. I was able to see if I'm on time, others were able to do so as well. One thing, if we have new members in the beginning, I'm not sure if Tessa mentioned it, make sure to kind of like spotlight the timer, like, hey guys, we have a timer, keep an eye on him, you know, because he's gonna tell you if you're over time or not. And I would like to commend you on stopping people. Now, usually in our club, if I'm the timer, I'm ruthless. If you are like 1 second over 7:30, you are muted automatically. I wanted to give you the permission to do that and also instruct you on doing so. But alas, I can't because I'm not host anymore. So too much trouble to go through. But you did it anyway and you stopped people from talking. So that's great. That's exactly what I wanted. Overall, I enjoyed today's meeting. Don't worry about my mood, just a weird day. And I do have a question for each and every one of you here. also one thing, if you can, please do turn on your camera so we can take a group picture. Yeah, Teresa is very happy about it. And the question is, what's the best thing that has happened to you today? And I will start with our Toastmaster, Tessa.
Now, it's really difficult to decide, but I would say this meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tessa. Teresa?
Thank you very much. Yeah, for me, it was also my speech. I'm kind of proud because, you know, it was hard for me. I was stressed and I really liked that you enjoyed it. So thank you.
Thank you. It was a nice speech. Yaroslav?
Yeah, sorry, for me, it wasn't anything from this meeting. It was still probably the thing that I talked about at the start of the meeting, which was finding out about my trauma.
Good job. Thank you. Lenka?
Besides this amazing meeting, it was waking up in the morning and writing down the task for today and scheduling them so I can work on the tasks. That was the best beginning of the day I could imagine.
Sounds good. Maybe you can make a speech about it at some point, how to schedule your morning. Thank you. Emo?
I have two best things today. First, this meeting, and second, my today's COVID test is negative.
That is good news. Lukáš?
Yes, that I could be here. And Terka's speech was amazing for me because I studied psychology and ethics, and I learned about it more.
Awesome. Thank you. Martin?
I think, okay, I can just, it's not about this meeting, but it's about all the Toastmasters meetings that we can do something more. We can do something out of our box. Maybe you know what I mean. It's so, I like this feeling that I can do something what is not typical for me, like speaking English right now.
Thank you very much. Anka?
I like Teresa's speech the most and all of you who participated.
Thank you very much. I'm getting a little bit confused because I see my own face because Tessa doesn't have her camera on. And I'm like, why am I looking at myself? Laura?
I think this meeting was awesome, but the best thing that happened to me was also the call that I had with my friend.
The call?
Yes, I was talking about it at the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah, I had to drop out for like a couple of minutes. I didn't hear all of your introductions. I'm sorry. We have left Hannah.
Well, for me, it was amazing breakfast. I had a vegan oatmeal and it was the best thing of the day.
Yeah, having good breakfast can start a very good day.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Okay, that's, I think, all. I saw Vivian here, but I don't see her anymore. Okay, Teresa.
Please turn on your camera, smile, and we will do this group photo. So, are you ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Teresa, for taking the picture. And thus, I can officially end today's meeting and welcome to the after party. Also stop the recording.
After party is great. Where are the drinks?
I actually have like a, can you stop the recording, someone?
Yeah,
Yeah, Tessa is back. She left for Yeah, and everything changed, Tessa.